This is Western Michigan Television, and I have David Brooks here with the helicopter just over the top of his head, but he's going to talk to us about plant identification. Mr. Brooks?
When the first explorers landed on these shores, there was not nearly as much sand here. All this vegetation was vegetating right down to the shoreline, and through use and man's encroachment, it has receded somewhat. The ecosystems that exist on this shore start right at the shoreline with the smaller plants, such as sawgrass and some weeds and some tall grasses that generally don't grow inland, but they have an extensive root system that holds the sand and is quite hardy. As these plants go back away from the shoreline, there's enough dirt that develops from the leaves and other places that there's enough soil to grow the root systems of larger plants like choke cherries and trees. The choke cherries in particular are the plants that hold the best in this kind of soil, and from there the maples and pine trees and oak trees grow that line the shoreline at the top of the dunes that we see most of the way along the West Michigan coastline.
And Mr. Brooks, you were also talking about this most unusual plant that seems to be down on the shoreline here. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it didn't develop until the 20th century, but basically the power plant that generates electricity for much of West Michigan and runs on coal, which is not native to Michigan, exists as the tallest plant on the shoreline in the southerly view from where we are today.
That's sort of that tall stack that we can see down there, is that correct?
It's the tall stack just inland. The other short stacks are the lighthouses at Grand Haven, not to be confused with the power plant. They use power, they don't generate power. Moving back from the